let's start off with the accomplishments of these top trainers here. We're going to go over Arash and Matis again. 2013 World Champion, then followed by the Turin Regional Championship win back in 2016. Recap of Arash's team with that Mega Delphox, Mega Floette, the Incineroar Mousehold, Sinister, and that Vivian. Lots of disruption, lots of support here around those two centerpiece Mega Pokemon. The Mega Delphox has a way of setting up with that nasty plot.
Frostlass in a very good point where he came off from some strong results last week in Indy, clearly following suit. You've got the two options of Megas being that Frostlass and the Villain.
Spicy Spray is not really going to be affecting the Delphox, so you're pretty free to go for those heat waves. And then the King Gambit going to struggle to hit it with the redirection. Lots of interactions going on. We'll see how it plays out.
Here we go. Our third top 8 match. Make some noise. Mateo starting game 1 with the Bastion Legion and the Villain right by its side versus Arash's Delphox and the Sinister. Sure, you don't lose any momentum in terms of that resource, which is so key. One misstep may be the end of your game, especially when it comes to the hyper offense potential from both sides. Mega evolutions now proc from either.
There we go, that Spicy Spray. We've said it's not really going to affect the Delphox too much, but this turn, after that Mega Evolution, if the overheat is into that Sinister, we do see the Rage Powder redirection. It will be pulling all attacks from the 2 on Mateo's side onto it, protecting the Delphox as it does go for that nasty plot. +2 in that special attack, and the next turn it will be able to threaten both of these targets on Mateo's side.
Overheat into the Sinister, picks up the KO. Already redirection support number 1 is off the field for Arash's side. Bastion Legion now moves, goes for the wave crash, picks up another KO. Wow, so much momentum lost from Arash's side. This may well be what we were talking about, Lee. It could go either way. If you lose that momentum, this is probably game over for you.
Yeah, normally situations here you would...
Oh! Game 2 is already here. What are the leads going to be? Is it going to be the same, or is it going to be changed up? It seems to be the case. Mateo now leading with the King Gambit and the Sneasler. Bit of a change up from Arash's side. Rather than the Sinister, you've got the Mousehold, which isn't going to go down to an overheat from the Megastro Villain.
Down, so you've got an option where you could go for the double up into the Mousehold if you suspect that Protect that we see from the Delphox.
Yeah, wanting to play safe, especially after that game 1, turn 1, that, you know, was the only turn that played out, really. And you want to make sure that, obviously, you don't allow any openings from Mateo's side with that fake out.
The close combat that would otherwise be so threatening, which could then open the door for the Delphox. We're seeing a Mega Evolve, and of course it will naturally outspeed the Sneasler and be able to pick it off with one of those big, powerful Psy Shocks.
Yeah, and that may invite the Protect from the Sneasler. Doesn't seem to be the case from either Pokemon on Mateo's side. A redirection option, nasty plot. So it seems like it's a read upon a read upon a read from both of our trainers trying to scout each other out. Nasty plot. Just not trying to prioritize the obvious Protect on the Sneasler. Close combat, like we said, because of the Chop Pull. Not enough to pick up the KO, but this may well be a double up focus here. There's no reason not to go for it. You need to start getting rid of the redirecting support on Arash's side. Kowtow, it's going to come through.
Yeah,
and now we have got a Sneasler, which, worth noting, is gonna be able to outspeed the Delphox because of the close combat into White Hope proc of the Unburden ability.
Yeah, now the Sneasler in a position where it doesn't really need to worry about being knocked out before getting too much value. That's why their Sinister is there to try and redirect, but we're seeing the Sneasler just protect, wants to stick around for an extra turn.
Ooh, all right, you want to be able to make sure you have that speed advantage against the Delphox, and if there's any sort of opening like a Heat Wave miss onto the King Gambit, then it gives you so much more room to be able to essentially adapt with, and King Gambit has no chance is going to be able to survive the +2 from a Mega Delphox. So it's more so Mateo saying, I'm willing to drop the King Gambit.
Yeah, it's on the broomstick. Well, now the Bastion Legion coming onto the field, it's going to have the same issues what that King Gambit did. We know how slow it is. Bastion Legion with a Size Shock, it is +2, remember. It might have a chance to take it down.
Gonna have to find out very shortly. Rage Powder redirecting all of the shots except of the Gunk Shot, which does miss. Another miss. Heat Wave on the Sneasler, but it does connect with the Bastion Legion. This is very huge because there's a very good chance the Heat Wave actually at +2 would have been able to pick up the KO onto that Sneasler. Cassie Berry activation though, at 100 base power, more than handles all of that offense.
Yeah, no, that's really unfortunate. Eye shock into the Basque Legion just to remove it to get around the potential knockout here on the Sinister.
Matteo, what have you locked in? You've gone for the gunshot. You've been able to connect this time. It might... Oh, it's not enough to pick up the KO from that range. But the Side Shock, it does go for the Basque Legion. Of course, picking up the KO. This is an insanely powerful Pokemon. And it's got +2 of its special attack to boot. So, now, Matteo, final 2 Pokemon. But it's the Focus Sash Lycanroc. Rock Slide to contend with. Sinistra respecting the potential of an Accel Rock, or even the Gunshot brings that Incineroar in revealed to be able to lower the damage output of both the Sneasler and that Lycanroc, as we got the defensive play from the Delphox.
Yeah, really nice preserving of the Incineroar, but caught the switch in there. The close combat into that Incineroar. What a great pickup.
Here we go. Now the question is Rock Slide or close combat. Goes for the Rock Slide, hoping at this range you're going to be able to pick up KO, but I don't think so because of the Intimidate. It survives on 8 hit points, and it's tough because what chance do you have if you make a read double CC into the Sinistra?
-1.
But you're going to have to make sure you are burning that fake out potential from Arash's side. There could have been a scenario where Arash could have tried to bring that Sinistra in and preserve the fake out option later on, but I don't think there's room to be able to do that at this point because you need to have the Delphox allowed to get a move off.
Miss from Matteo's end.
Sinistra now comes back onto the field. Incineroar remaining at such low health in the back. Delphox following suit with the Protect. Like we said, Sinistra is willing to go down now for the team. Question is, does Matteo let it and instead put it in an awkward spot where it cannot? If there's a Rock Slide miss, this might be good for Matteo, but it doesn't seem to be the case. Although it survives, that actually works against, I would say, Matteo, right? Or should I say Arash? Apologies.
Delphox will be able to take at least 1 Rock Slide, but probably not 2.
No. Okay, all right. It's gonna have to come down to this right now. Is there gonna be a gunshot? Will it be able to put it within range? No, the Delphox surely goes for the Side Shock or tries to risk a Heat Wave. It has gotten poisoned. May put it within the range. Heat Wave double connects. Sneasler is out for the count, but the Lycanroc, and there was a critical hit as well. I don't think that would have mattered at that point. Lycanroc, 42 hit points. This is looking like Arash surely is going to be able to bring this back unless there's a double KO. There isn't. Delphox survives, but because of the poison, maybe put in an awkward spot. But let's not forget, actually, Sinistra comes back in, has Hospitality, right?
Yeah, which might just put it...
Oh, it just survived the line.
Yeah, this is going to be very, very close. We'll see. The Hospitality will restore 25% of the health on this Delphox. 2 ticks. And it might be down. A double protect might do it for Matteo here. Very, very close. There is the Accelerock as well, which you've got to worry about, and the Rage Powder there to pull that away.
All right, so that means it's done. Arash has been able to push it through to a Game 3. He didn't want to mess about there. The fact that the Sinistra was still on the field for the redirection, and there's no...
I think you've got to protect it at all costs, which he did so well with that Delphox in that last game.
Game 3. This is where our final semi-finalist will be decided. We're going to change up from Matteo's side. The Frostlass is on the field next to the Basque Legion. I'd say very aggressive start, but potential Aurora Veil setup versus the Delphox and Incineroar yet again from our side.
Immediately onto that Delphox, which makes it harder to go for something like that Nasty Plot. Is it worth the sacrifice here? And you can't ignore the threat of the Shadow Ball as well on that Frostlass.
Yeah, it's a lovely little situational pin in terms of I could get one trade off as opposed to another, but it could be risky if the Delphox wanted to go on the offensive and maybe try to outpace that Frostlass, go for the Heat Wave, anticipating a defensive play from Matteo, but it doesn't seem to be the case. The Aurora Veil has been set up, and that adds a lot of sustainability for Matteo's Pokemon.
Yeah, and especially when you go into the next turn where the Delphox is still on the field. Parting shot, very useful, but that Auroraville going to pay dividends for the next few turns. It's got the Intimidate to cycle in again this next turn to further reduce the attack power of that Basculegion if you need be. Yeah, that's the thing. I think even at -1, it's still going to be hitting like a truck. And now we do see Arash commit to the Mega Evolution, not switching the Delphox out, wants to keep it on the field and start that momentum shift.
Follow me, redirection, making sure the Delphox does not fall victim to any sort of powerful water-type moves whilst getting its sort of plotting going. +2 special attack. Blizzard hoping to be able to deal good damage onto the Mousehold, followed up by what I'm assuming going to be the Wave Crash. You want to try to get rid of that redirection support. Mousehold survives on 25, and this so far is going according to plan, I'd say, from Arash's side.
Something like the Incineroar back onto the field. But no, Protect's coming out and just to follow me.
Oh, wow, this may be very crucial. It depends. Heatwave does double connect onto the Frostless. It picks up the KO. This means the Basculegion will not be able to hit the Mega Delphox in anticipation of the Mousehold going down previously. Wave Crash will get rid of the Mousehold, but is this too little, too late? The Mega Delphox has been given that room to be able to get those very powerful moves off.
Then you really become susceptible to taking the full brunt of those nasty plots.
Yeah, I think you are forced to bring in your Incineroar from Arash's side, further lowering the damage output.
To Sinister, get a little bit of health back, protect your Delphox, and then if we see what we're seeing now, then you've got a really good situation where you've got that redirection for the next turn that is going to be pivotal.
This could be quite detrimental as well. Exposing your Sneasler could be quite bad if there's no defensive play from the Delphox, but seems to be Arash wanting to play safe. He doesn't want to risk it. Mateo, at least in that interaction, getting the advantage.
The next turn, which doesn't care so much about that redirection.
Okay, fake out onto the Delphox, dealing a bit of chip damage, which may or may not prove to be quite vital in the end phases of this game 3. Basculegion going for the last respects will, of course, be proccing the Cassib Berry but dealing so little damage because of the Intimidate drops, as well as the halving of the damage output. Snow finally expiring, but most importantly, that Auroraville too. It's a plot set up and then put on so much pressure because of the speed advantage on your side. It should be so good for himself, but we see Arash actually celebrate with the Protect, which may be an indication of a Psy Shock going into the Sneasler, getting rid of that slot, outpacing it. That is so crucial for Arash's win conditions. Mateo now down to his final 2 Pokemon. Yes, Lycanroc does have the Focus Sash intact. However, this Delphox is remaining unchecked. It is the fastest thing on the field.
Lost along the way. Arash doing so well.
Okay, going for the Protect again. We've got the Side Shot trying to focus down. This may give Mateo a lifeline. Rock Slide! Picks up the KO! Was that a critical hit, or was that just the amount of damage it deals? It seems to be the latter.
That is huge. What a huge turn. The Machikotcha coming out. It is going to break the Focus Sash on the Lycanroc, but is it a turn too late?
Oh, we're going to have to find out. 30 HP remaining for the Lycanroc. He gets burned. Arash! What are you doing? That was filthy. And I may have just given him the progression in to the top 4.
Wow, what a turn. Did not expect the Delphox to just go for the attack and sit there, take the Rock Slide and go down. But now the Incineroar coming back onto the field. It is going to drop another all-important Intimidate, that active Fake Out.
There's no Trick Room on the Sinister. I was going to say if you really wanted to risk the Protects there with the Rock Slide subsequent turn, but Lycanroc flinching, trying to go for the attack. Last respects, this is lower damage output. Not quite enough, even with 2 Pokemon down to bring it up to 150 base power. Machikotcha does connect. It does get you the Lycanroc. Basculegion survives on the 20 hit point threshold. But this seems to be all overly.
So close to being over. It looks like the headset's done from Mateo, and it might be Arash progressing here. We're going to have to wait for the turn to play out. But so close. There it is.
There it is. The forfeit is in. Arash Amadi, our final semi-finalist.
Wow. Incredible turns of events from Arashi Mati, doing it once again here in Turin, moving into top 4. Incredible.